What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Grind Force Gaming. Nova here with some more Street Fighter Duel content for you guys, and in today's video we are going to be talking about Athlete Chun Li, right? Is she worth it? Should you be investing in her? Well, the answer to that question is maybe, okay? And I'm going to give you a very straightforward and very no-nonsense review here. We're not going to get super detailed into here. I'm just going to tell you exactly how it is. I think that she's a great fighter, but I think that you cannot focus her unless you've done other things first, okay? As a master faction fighter, you're going to be pulling her in divination. So if you haven't already finished Bison, if you haven't at least gotten him to SS, okay, you haven't gotten Rose to SS as well maybe, then I think that you should be putting her on the back burner for right now. She's a great fighter, but I think that you do need to prioritize a little bit. Now, if you just want to build her because you like her, then, by all means do that. But if you want to optimize, you need to do Bison first, you need to do Rose second, and then you can do her after that if you want to, okay? She's a support fighter. So the beauty of using a fighter like Athlete Chun Li is you're going to be in the highest benefit from her simply by using her C1. You don't need to use any of her other skills if you don't want to. She fits that C1 role perfectly, okay? And even just as an A grade. I used her in the story chapters already as an A grade to help me get past a very difficult double combat Guile stage because she can put her wind vortex out, and then she can soak up some damage. She can block the projectiles. It helped me pass a level in, I think it was in chapter 33 or maybe toward the end of 32. I was able to progress through a double combat Guile using her as an A grade. Okay, you just put her in the tag. She functions that way, just like Abel, for example, like Elena, like Street Poison, and even like the new fighter, Summer Yang as well. Now, there's a difference between some of these fighters, and that's that some of them you need to have their stats boosted to get the highest effect, right? So Elena, you need to have her HP high, you need to have her defense high to get the highest benefit. Summer Yang is the same way. His shield is based off of his defense. However, fighters like Abel, fighters like Street Poison, and fighters like Athlete Chun Li, their stats are irrelevant to the functionality of the skill. So you can definitely use her in that sense and see value and see use from her. So let's just pop in here. I'm looking at this on my phone, so if I'm not looking at the camera, that's why. Let's just pop in and look at her skills. So her C1 is the primary focus here, right? She's going to unleash a vortex that hovers in the area for 12 seconds. It dissipates after 3 hits from range attacks have been taken. Now, as you level this up, it increases to 4 hits and it increases the duration as well. So you have the potential to just have this up all the time. Her passive is she's boosting effect resistance. She's doing 25% damage absorption into the vortex as long as it is on the field. And she's also boosting the attack by 20% and doing a little bit more effect resistance here on the level 4. So interestingly enough, if we look at her fighting spirit, at level 20, she's reducing soul, flame, and thunder damage by 30%. Okay, Zangief does the same thing on his passive. So I'm wondering, passives don't always stack in games like this. I haven't done this testing myself, but if those two paired together, if these stack, because this is her fighting spirit and then that's Zangief's passive, you'd be getting a lot of damage reduction, and that could be extremely helpful, especially if you're having a hard time sustaining the incoming damage from enemy teams or from enemy players that you're sparring against. I think that could be really interesting. I feel like they should stack because they're not technically both a passive, like one is a fighting spirit and the other is a passive. So could work very well together. I do see a lot of use in her as well if you are focusing on the wind and master faction fighters. And the reason being, let's just hop back in here, is that she's doing that reduction, not for everybody, but only for wind and for master. Okay. Zangief is doing it for everybody. She's doing it specified to that. So if you're building other wind or master faction fighters that you could pair her with, now you're really going to see her potential realize. And I think that you should be, because fighters like Guile and fighters like Beast Zangief are two of the best fighters in the game. So if you are going to use her, you can definitely use her as an A grade, but I do recommend moving her up to SS, and you can probably stop there. She's going to fill that support role for you perfectly. You can leave her in the tag. She doesn't need to be in the main lineup. You could do, if it works, you could do Zangief, you could do Beast Zangief, Guile, throw her in the tag, and you might be able to just sustain everything and let Guile just DPS the entire enemy team down. I'm really interested to try it out. I do need to do some leveling on my fighters before I can do that. And I also need to get her leveled up to SS first. She's an S grade for me at the time. So I'd still have a little bit more work that I need to do on her, but I do think that she's worth it, but I do think it comes with a caveat. Okay. You need to have other things done first. You need to have Bison done. You need to have Rose done before you start doing divination for her, in my opinion, unless you just want to, but for optimization's sake, you should wait. Get those two done first. But I do think that she's a very good fighter, and I think that she fits that C1 role perfectly. I don't think that we will ever have, as long as they continue to introduce new mechanics, I don't think that we're ever going to have like just this amount of support fighters with C1 skills that we don't need to get any more of them. Okay, they're my favorite fighters to see show up. They are surprising us with new mechanics all the time, and these fighters change the game for you 100%. We have the DPS already. We have good tanks already. Okay, these support fighters are what shift the fight for you. I've done a couple of videos on this as well. Actually, Datscat did one about B Sankey's interrupt. I'll put a card up here at the top for you guys. You can check that out. And then I also recently did a video on Abel and how he's been helping me move through the story chapter. So I'll put a card up here at the top for you. His C1 skill just straight up blocks hits, 2 hits. Damage is irrelevant. So it's pretty awesome. And I'm using him as an A+ grade. So some of these support fighters have massive value at A grade. So should you get her, definitely get 1 copy, because I think that you're going to see some value. Should you build her? That depends. I think that you'll need to wait and see how your fights are turning out for you, and also the fighters that you're using. So anyway, that is my straightforward review of her for you guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you are enjoying the videos that we're doing here at Grind Force Gaming, I do ask that you please take a moment to subscribe, throw a like on the video, and let us know that you appreciate what we're doing. We're loving making these videos. We've got a variety of games here. We're going to continue to make more videos as the future carries forward. So please hit the subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.